Hey guys, Aaron Garza, Pureline Nutrition, coming to you live here at Evolution Gym in San Antonio, Texas. I want to thank our friends, Dr. Francisco Cardona and his wife, Oe Neal, both NPC competitors, for letting us use their facility to tape some really cool segments for our Fit video this week. Now, as I told you in our last video series, we're going to be doing some things differently. We're going to always have a Q&A section in which you guys write in, you ask us your questions, and we answer them. But we're also going to take you through some workouts and some different things that you can do to help improve your results in the gym, get better results from whatever it is you're doing, diet, supplementation, and training. So we'll be doing some of that shooting out right out of here at Evolution Gym. So stick with us for these segments. I think you're going to enjoy the show. As always, if you have any questions, you can email me at info@thepureline.com. Hey guys, okay, we're back at Evolution Gym and we're here with one of our Pureline athletes and IFBB Pro, Marcela Cabral. Now, one of the things we're going to be addressing in a lot of these videos is different things that will help you, the average female or average male watching this, get in better shape, lose fat faster, accelerate your progress in the gym. And what I thought I'd do is bring in Marcela to give us some tips on how females can work out their glutes, hips, and thighs. That seems to be one of the most areas that women struggle with the most. So we're going to get into the workout in a little bit and take you through that, but before, we're just going to get a few words from Marcela. Marcela, so obviously, you know, this tends to be a trouble spot for females. Is there anything that you do differently that you're going to show us through your workout that you would recommend to women?
Well, yes, glutes has always been one of my problem areas, and one thing I do is I try and hit it or work out glutes at least 3 or 4 times a week. Trying different exercises every time, and of course try and go heavy. So I'm trying to build.
Now, let's say somebody's just starting, they're just going to work out for the first time. You've got women out there who don't necessarily want to compete or get on stage or anything like that, but they want to look good. They want to have nice glutes and they want to look nice in jeans. Can they do these exercises too?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We'll go through them today so you can.
Do they start the same way, or would you just start them with lighter weight, or you want to just tell us as we go along?
I can tell you as we go along, but
sounds good.
We'll see.
Awesome, thanks.
Okay, so the first one that we're gonna do is a lateral lunge. I'm gonna be using the cable just to add some resistance. You can go light or medium weight depending on your level, or you can just do it at home with no weight, okay? We're gonna come down to the lunge, making sure your knees are not passing your toes. Your back is straight the whole time, and bring it up, control, and down. Up, and down. You're gonna do this 15 times, and then you're gonna repeat it for 4 rounds. Okay, every time you go up, I normally increase my weight. That's up to you. If you feel like it's already heavy, then just leave it right there. I really like this exercise because I really feel my glutes working out, especially the side of my glute, if you can feel it. If you're a beginner, then I would recommend just doing it without any weight. Just do it at home or anywhere you are. And first thing is just to look at your form. Make sure you're doing it, your knees are not passing those toes. And then keep increasing your weight as you get stronger. Now I'm gonna do the kickbacks with the cable. I'm gonna the same. Okay, I'm gonna go back and squeeze. Control for 2, and up, down, 2, up, down, 2. This one I will do for 15 to 20 reps depending on where I fail. If I'm doing less weight when I start, I go about 20 reps, and as I go up in weight, then I'll decrease the reps. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the hip thrust. With this exercise, I actually love it because it really focuses on just the glute. when you're coming up and you're not using your quads or anything else. So when you're trying to just focus on the glute, this is a great exercise. Okay, you're gonna come down. Make sure you use the pad, if not it's gonna hurt. And then you're gonna bring up your hip for a squeeze. And again, control, down, 2, squeeze, 1, 2. For this one, I will do 15 reps to start, and then I will finish with 5 pulses. So my last rep, I will pulse up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and really feel that burn. And then repeat it for three more rounds, so a total of 4 rounds. Now I'm gonna do a deadlift. Actually, I do 2 variations of deadlift. First one, your stance, you want it to be hips width apart. You're gonna come up. One thing about the deadlift, just make sure your back is nice and straight, your chest is open at all times. And then you're gonna bring it up, coming up with heels and down. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings, up and up. I'm trying to focus more on my glutes and my hamstrings so I don't go all the way down. That way I don't use my quads as much. Okay, so just right below my knee and up. So the first one I will do 10 reps. Second one I will do another 10. So I'll finish it off with a sumo deadlift. Okay, this time my stance are wider than shoulder width. Same thing, back is straight, shoulders open, main chest is open, and your hands this time are in. Okay, you're gonna come up, squeeze on the top, down, 2, 3. So for this one, I do the 10 reps of regular deadlift, then I will go right into the 10 sumo deadlifts for another 10 reps, and then rest for about 60 seconds. Continue for the second round, so doing a total of 4 rounds. So to finish up the glutes and hamstrings day, I finish up with the hamstring machine. Come down. And for this one, I will do 15 reps for 4 rounds. Again, if you can increase your weight on every round, great. If not, if you're a beginner, I will start light and then keep increasing as you go.
The first thing we're going to do is start with our question and answer. That's basically you, the viewers out there, asking me questions that you may have regarding weight loss, nutrition, supplementation, losing weight, changing your body, anything that you can think of that you need a response to. I'll definitely take the time and I'll take the best questions out there and I will answer them. And if you are the one who actually has a question on our show, I'm going to send you out a Pureline shaker bottle or a Pureline t-shirt. Absolutely free. So make sure when you email the questions that you email them to info@thepureline.com, addressed to Aaron, and ask me your question, leave your information and your mailing address so I can get that out to you. So let's start with our first question today. The first one comes from Roberto, and he's in Austin. He says, Aaron, I've been working out really hard at the gym. I've tried countless fat burners, diets, weight loss strategies, but no matter what, I can't seem to get that last 10 to 15 pounds off. Is there anything out there that can help me? I'm getting frustrated. Please help. Well, I'll tell you what, Roberto, the first thing I would do is I would really take the time to sit down and write down everything that you're truly actually eating over the course of 7 days. Most people, when I actually sit down with them, when I have private clients that I talk to, they tend to find that their diet is really all over the place. One day they're eating 2 meals, one day they're eating 4 meals. Maybe it's the beginning of the week and trying to eat clean, so they're eating 5 or 6 meals. But as the week goes on, it just gets worse and worse and worse. So what you have is this kind of a zigging effect, zigzag, zigzag. There's no consistency there. So there really isn't going to be any change in the body. The body doesn't know what you're doing. You're giving it something different every day. So the most important thing you can do is write down everything. Then be really honest, sit down with somebody else, and do an appraisal of what it is that you're eating. You'll notice right away that you're probably eating a lot differently than you think you are. take a look at that. I think that's probably one of the most important things, is getting your diet on point, making sure that your diet and nutrition strategy is sound and that you are eating the same things day in and day out in terms of your proteins and carbs and vegetables and things like this. Now, once that diet is sound and you've been eating consistently and eating the same things for about 6 to 7 days, then you can start to make some changes based on whether you want to lose more weight, you want to build more muscle, etc. But I have a feeling that's going to be one of the most important things you can do. The other thing I'd really recommend that would probably help you out a lot is a good detoxification. Most people, when I start them on a diet or a nutrition plan, the first thing I like to do is do a complete detox. Something that detoxes their kidney, their liver, their bloodstream, all the major organs of the body, and really helps the body detox some of the stuff that's been in there for a long time. A lot of times I find that when they do this, they lose an automatic 5 to 6 pounds really quickly. And all of a sudden, their responsiveness to supplements, diet, and training goes up. I think a lot of that is because, the colon, being as long as it is, 20 to 21 feet, can carry a lot of toxic matter, and some of that can release back into your system and cause immunotoxicity. So we really need to make sure that at least every 3 to 4 months we're doing an appropriate detox. What I'd recommend is starting with my detox and cleansing formula. So what you would do is you would use something like my Pure Cleanse Liquid Aloe Vera Nopal and Flax. Essentially, this is an 8-day cleanse. What you're going to do is you're going to take 2 capfuls in the morning when you wake up, 2 capfuls at night before you go to bed. If you do it every day for 8 days, you will have gone for this entire 32-ounce bottle. So make sure and do that for the first 8 days. This is going to be the initial detox and flush. It's going to get your body completely cleansed, get you healthy, feeling better, less bloat, and more readily able to absorb some of the nutrients that you're taking in. Now, I would follow that up with our Pure Cleanse capsules. With these, you're going to be taking 3 capsules a day, morning, lunch, and dinner. Or if you don't have time to spread them throughout the day, take 2 in the morning and 1 at night. As long as you get 3 a day in, this is the backup to the initial flush. It's 30 days, 3 times a day, and once you're done with these, you've completely detoxified the system. I like to bring these in because they've got a lot of good things like fennel, psyllium, cascara sagrada, a lot of good herbs to help detox the body naturally. I've got to let you know this is not a major detox. You're not going to be in the bathroom every 20 to 30 minutes. It's a very gentle thing. You'll notice that you just feel less bloated, you feel better. Overall, your health and wellness seems to improve. So I would recommend doing a detox and cleanse also, Roberto. I think that will help you out. And the other thing you want to look at is perhaps maybe your cheat days are a little off balance. A lot of times I find that when people are on eating plans and programs and diets of that sort, what they'll notice is they go really well through Monday through Thursday. Then Friday night they may hit a little snag where they cheat, and that actually kind of rolls over into Saturday. And then before you know it, even Sunday morning they're having a breakfast of some pancakes and something really out of proportion. So what ends up turning, what's supposed to be just a one-night cheat ends up turning into 2 or 3 days. If you do that 4 times a month, that's half the month that you were on a diet, half the month that you weren't. So look at that. That might be something that may be setting you back a little bit. And if all else fails, just increase your cardiovascular activity a little bit. Add 20 minutes to your weekly cardio routine by just doing 5 more minutes every day on the treadmill at the gym. So like I said, we're going to start doing a little interview with somebody every segment, just somebody who is either in the fitness world or has made a transformation in their body or has just done something that can inspire us and help us be better, especially you out there, the normal person. So we had a glute and hamstring workout with a professional bikini competitor, IFBB Pro Marcela Cabral, and she's also really involved in the fitness industry. She trains people, she helps people out. So we're gonna just kind of get a little interview with her so you get to know her and maybe she can give you some tips and some things. I'll just start really informally. Okay, so Marcela, tell us a little bit about your fitness journey. How did you get started? What are your beginnings? What got you into all this?
Well, I've always been active in some form since I was in Mexico and I was 12, 13 years old. That's when I kind of started getting involved in the gym. I just started to be active. And then when I moved to the States, I was 14 and I just wanted to do something. I started playing soccer and then I did track. When I was about 17, that's when I started weight training and going to all these different classes at the gym. And I really enjoyed doing the weight training classes. Then I got certified as a CrossFit instructor and I I fell in love with CrossFit and being so competitive, because you're always competing with people around you, but more than anything with yourself, because you're always trying to be better.
Good point. You know, I want to bring that up is we see there's a lot of people that originate from CrossFit and then they get into changing their body, physique, bikini, whatever it may be. But do you still do some CrossFit besides the metabolic conditioning stuff? Do you do some of those lifts and stuff in your routines?
I mean, mainly I will do the squats or the deadlifts, but not the powerlifting or the Olympic lifting.
Okay.
I don't do that because I tend to overtrain in that area, and then I will lift more than I should, and I end up hurting myself. So that's just me.
Okay.
Especially when I'm trying to compete for a bikini competition.
Now, you know, what we're really trying to do with our show is we're trying to get information and get inspiration out there to the normal person, you know, the person who hasn't worked out in years, you know, maybe they're 38, they haven't picked up a weight in 10 years, a female who's at home with kids, and she's just like sick and tired, she's gained weight, she's, you know, pretty much just given up on fitness and herself, she's depressed. You train a lot of clients, you have a lot of people that come to you for advice and information. What would you recommend to that lady? What do you specifically say, okay, this is where you start? What would be your advice to her?
I think especially for women that are trying to lose weight and they lack motivation, I always encourage them to find either a group or a friend or a family member to go and do it with them, because I think that's the main thing, that they don't have accountability, and then they end up just going for a couple of days and they stop. So that's one thing that I do with my training, try and keep them all. I'll do more group training, even if it's small personal training in groups. So that makes sense. So it'll be like 4 or 5 people at a time, but that keeps them motivated and they have accountability, because then they have other people that will come and be with them at the same time.
Now, let's say on that same premise there, on that same topic, you know, you have a new program you're doing, your Burn It in 30 program, which is, you know, lose weight in 30 days. A lot of these females that you have, are they new to weightlifting? Is this something that, like, this is the first time they're doing it? Are they a lot of those new beginners?
Yeah, I have even women that are over 40 that have never lifted weights before, and we are incorporating weight training because it's really important, especially as you get older, to make sure that you're keeping or taking care of that muscle that you do have, and strength training will be a big role in that. And
there seems to be a lot of females out there that like kind of scoff at the idea of lifting weights, like, oh, I don't think I should lift weights because I'm going to get big and I'm going to look like a guy, and I just don't think that's a good idea. What do you have to say about that?
I always tell them you have to try it first before. When the first thing I always tell me is I'm gonna get bulky, or I don't want to lift weights because I don't want to get big. You know, I don't want all those muscles. And I tell them that that's not really possible if you have the right nutrition and you're doing the right weight training, of course.
Now, you kind of really quickly touched on the topic regarding, you know, nutrition. What's your typical nutrition like? You know, for somebody like you, just in the off season, not working, you know, super hard, but just trying to stay healthy, trying to stay lean. What would you kind of recommend, and what do you do?
I mean, I think it's always going to be different depending on the person. So one thing that I would recommend is doing an in-body analysis, and just so you know what your basal metabolic rate is, so how many calories you can burn a day, and then just base it off that, because you can try and eat healthy, but then at the end you're only eating 800, 900 calories, and then that's not going to work over time. Or you might be eating healthy and just be this fruit and eating over the calories that you're supposed to be eating. So I think it all comes down to where you are as far as your body composition.
Got it. And you can always go to Pureline, by the way, get an in-body analysis. Any of the stores can give you that free, and they can kind of put you on the right plan from there. Speaking of that, so what supplementation do you use right now? Do you use supplements during the off season, or just when you're preparing for a contest, or all year?
I do take maybe like 2 or 3 weeks off right after a show, and then I get right back on it. Especially the protein powder, of course. I take the ISO factor from Pureline. BCAAs are always part of my supplementation. I take Diva Burn for pre-workout, and I just love Diva Burn because It's more of a steady energy throughout the day, and there's no crash, and you don't feel crazy with it either. It's just the perfect amount of energy. I take my multivitamin for sure. I use Diva daily and the EFAs throughout the year.
Awesome, good. So a pretty good, well-rounded supplement program throughout the year. So what's your future look like? What are your plans, as far as your personal plans in terms of competing and, of course, with helping others lose weight and get in shape?
Yeah, as you mentioned with the Burn It in 30, that's something that actually just got started this year. So I'm trying to keep building that, eventually make it into an online training as well.
Where can people go real quick to get information about that?
That would just be burnitin30.com, and everything's on there. And then, of course, this year I will be competing, and I have two shows planned for this year. One here in San Antonio in August, so that will be fun. And finally, there's one in San Antonio, so my family can go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, guys. If you have any questions for Marcela, you can always email her at
Marcela, Marcela, IFBB@gmail.com.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time on our question and answer segment, or with our next person that we interview in the future. If you have any questions for us, you can always email us at info@thepureline.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon.